Dear friends, welcome to a spoken tutorial on Linux operating system. In this tutorial, we will study some basic commands. I am using Ubuntu 10.04. We assume that you know how to get started with the Linux operating system. If you are interested, it is available through another spoken tutorial on the website spoken-tutorial.org. In this tutorial, we will see what are commands and what is a command interpreter. Then we will learn about how to find help in Linux using the man command. Now the first question is, what are commands? In simplest terms, we can say that Linux commands are words that when keyed in cause some actions to take place. Linux commands are seldom more than 4 characters in length, like ls, who, ps, etc. The commands are in lower case and they are case sensitive. Let us see an example. Go to the Applications menu, select Accessories and then click on Terminal from the available options, or press Ctrl-Alt-T on your keyboard to open a terminal window. Now we can see a prompt and a cursor blinking next to it. This is where we need to type in a command. Type the words who and press enter. We can see the name of the users logged in. Actually, we have just executed a command called who, which shows who are logged into the system. But which entity is converting these commands, which are nothing more than a few letters, into actions? This is the job of the command interpreter, also called the shell. We can define a shell as a program that acts as the interface between us and the Linux system, allowing us to enter commands for the operating system to execute. On Linux, it's quite feasible to have multiple shells installed, with different users able to pick the one they prefer. On Linux, the standard shell that is always installed as bin/sh is called bash, the GNU born again shell from the GNU suite of tools. The commands we would be covering in this tutorial are generic and can run on most of the Linux shells with slight variations. Nevertheless, we would be using the bash as the shell for demonstration in this tutorial. It is because bash is the most popular shell and portable to almost all Unix. Other shells include the Bourne shell, which is the original Unix shell, C shell and the Korn shell. To see which shell we are using, go to the terminal and type the command echo space $ in capital shell and press enter. Normally the output is /bin/bash, which gives us the bash shell. There are ways by which we can activate different shells. Those will be covered in an advanced tutorial. Commands are actually files containing programs, often written in C. These files are contained in directories. To find out where a command is stored, we can use the type command. Type at the command prompt, type space ps and press enter. This shows that ps is actually a file stored in the /bin directory. When we key in a command at the command prompt, the shell searches for a file matching the command name in a list of directories. If it is found, then the program corresponding to that file is executed. Else, a command not found error is given. The list of directories searched is specified by the path variable, as we will see later. For now, if we want to see this list, just type the command echo space $path in capital and press enter. Talking of commands, there is one important thing that we need to know: Linux commands are of two types, external commands and internal commands. Now, external commands are those which exist as separate files, programs. Most commands in Linux are of this nature. But there are some commands whose implementation is written within the shell and they do not exist as separate files. These are internal commands. The echo command, which we will see later, is in fact an internal command. Go to the terminal and type the command, type space echo and press enter. The output shows echo is a shell bulletin. So instead of giving a file name, it shows that the echo command's implementation is internal to the shell. So it is called internal command. Another important thing which we need to understand is the structure of commands. Commands can be of one word or multiple words, separated by white spaces. In the second case, the first word is the actual name of the command while the other words are arguments. Arguments can be options or expressions or file names. A command can perform different tasks depending on the options specified. They are generally preceded by a single or double minus sign called short and long option respectively. Go to the terminal window and type the commands and see their outputs. Type clear to clear the terminal window. Then type ls and press enter. Again type clear and press enter. Type ls space -a, enter. Type clear to clear the terminal window. Now type ls -all and press enter. Again type clear to clear the terminal. Now type ls space -d and press enter. At this point, it is enough to understand how the command's behavior changes with change of options. In Linux, we have large number of commands, each of which have many different options. Commands can also be combined together, as we will see later. So, how do we keep so much in mind? In reality, you don't have to. This is because of the excellent online help facility available in Linux. The man command provides documentation on just about every available command on the system. For instance, to know about, say, the ls command, all you have to do is go to the terminal and type man command with ls as argument. That is, type man space ls and press enter. Press Q to come out. Man is system's manual pager. Each argument given to man is normally the name of a program, utility or function. The manual page associated with each of these arguments is then found and displayed. A section, if provided, will direct man to look only in that section of the manual. The default is to search in all the available sections, following a predefined order, and to show only the first page found, even if page exists in several sections. You can use man command to know more about the command man itself. Go to the terminal and type man space man and press enter. Press Q to come out. Man command has many options. Here, let me tell the most useful ones. Sometimes we know what we want to do, but we do not know the exact command. Then what can we do? Man provides the -k option, which takes a keyword and returns a list of commands and their brief purpose. For example, create a directory. we may not know the exact command. So, we can go to the command prompt and type man space -k space directories and press enter. Now we can search each of these commands to see what we actually need. The same thing can be achieved using apropos command. Type at the command prompt apropos space directories and press enter to see the output. Sometimes we do not need too much details. We only need to know what a command does. In that case, we can use the what is command or man-f. Both give one-line description about the command. Go to the terminal, type clear to clear the terminal window. Now type what is space ls and press enter. Some commands have many options. We may want to obtain a list of the different options that a command has. Then we use the --help option. Go to the command prompt and type ls space --help and press enter. I will scroll up so that you can see all the options on this manual page. That's it for this part of the Linux spoken tutorial. Spoken tutorials are a part of Talk to a Teacher project supported by the National Mission on Education through ICT. More information on the same is available at the following link. Thanks for joining us. This is Anuradha Amrutkar signing off. Goodbye.
Hi, welcome to this spoken tutorial on general purpose utilities in Linux. In this tutorial, we will make ourselves acquainted with some of the most basic yet heavily used commands of Linux. The main motivation of this is to give you a head start about working with Linux. The first command that we will see is the echo command. However, note that Linux commands are case sensitive. Here, all commands and their options are in small letters unless otherwise mentioned. This command is used to display some message on the screen. Switch to the terminal. Ctrl-Alt-T helps to start a terminal in Ubuntu. This command may not work in all Unix systems, however. A general procedure to open a terminal is already explained in another spoken tutorial. Type at the prompt echo space hello world and press enter. This prints the customary hello world message on the screen. We can also use the echo command to display the value of a variable. Type at the prompt echo space $shell in capital and press enter. This outputs the present shell being used. We can also use escape sequences with echo command. For this in Linux, we need to use -e option. Common escape sequences include \t for tab, \n for new line. \c is a escape sequence which when used causes the prompt to be displayed on the same line. This can be useful if, say, we want a prompt message before entering something. Type at the prompt echo space SE within single quote enter a command \c and press enter. We will see that the prompt will be displayed after printing enter a command on the same line. You may want to know what version of Linux kernel you are running. To know this and many other characteristics of our machine, we have the uname command. Type at the prompt uname space -r and press enter. To know what is your username, type at the prompt who space yam space I and press enter. This in fact comes from the who command that enlists all the users currently logged into the system in case your system is a multi-user system. Sometimes your login password may get compromised and or you may want to change it. For this we have the password command. Type at the prompt PASSWD and press enter. When you type this command, you would be asked to type the current password. Here I would be typing my system's current password. When that is correctly entered, you will have to enter your new password and then retype it to confirm. But what if we have forgotten our current password? Then also the password can be changed without knowing the current password, but that can only be done by the root user. Now, who is a root user? He is a special user with extra privileges. To draw an analogy, we can say a root user is similar to a user in Windows with administrator status. We may be interested in knowing the system date and time. For this we have the date command. Type date in the terminal and press enter. It will show you the present system time and date. As we can see, the date command gives both date and time. This is a very versatile utility and has many options as well. Type at the prompt date space plus %sign capital T and press enter. It gives us only the time in hours, minutes and seconds format. Type at the prompt date space plus %sign small h and press enter. It gives the name of the month. Type at the prompt date space plus %sign small m and press enter. It gives the month of the year in numerical format. Here it is showing 02 for the month of February. Match this according to the output you are getting. Type at the prompt date space plus %sign small y and press enter. It gives the last 2 digits of the current year. We can combine these options as well. For example, type at the prompt date space plus within double quotes %small h %small y and press enter. Here it is showing February 11. Another related command is the cal command. Though not as common, this helps you to see the calendar of any month and any year. To see the current month's calendar, type at the prompt cal and press enter. To see the calendar of any arbitrary month, say December 2070, type at the prompt cal space 12 space 2070 and press enter. This gives the calendar of December 2017. Before moving ahead, let us discuss a little bit about files and directories. In Linux, almost everything is a file. Now the question is, what is a file? In real a file is where we store our documents and papers. Similarly, a Linux file is a container for storing information. Next, what is a directory? A directory can be understood as a collection of files and other subdirectories. A directory helps us in organizing our files in a systematic manner. This is like what we call folders in Windows. When we log into the Linux system, we are by default in a home directory. To see the home directory, type at the prompt echo space $home in capital and press enter. The next command helps us to see the directory we are currently working in. It is pwd, that stands for present working directory. Type at the prompt pwd and press enter. Once we know of our directory, we would also want to know what are the files and subdirectories in that directory. For this we have the ls command, which is probably the most widely used command in Unix and Linux. Type the command ls and press enter. Now observe the output. Files and subdirectories are generally shown with different colors. ls is a very versatile command and has many options. Let us see some of them. Type at the prompt ls space --all and press enter. This shows all the files including the hidden files. Hidden files here are file names starting with dot. If we not only want to see the file but also get more information, we can use the -l option. Just type the command ls space -l and press enter. It gives us the file permissions, file owner's name, last modification time, file size in bytes, etc. Explanation of the fields of this option is beyond the scope of the present tutorial. ls can be used with many options, which we will see later. Instead of just displaying all this information on the screen, we may store it in a file. In fact, we can store the output of any command in a file in this way. Just type the command followed by the right angle bracket and the file name. Say we write ls space -l space right angle bracket space file info and press enter. Now all the files and directories information will be directed to the file named file info. But how do we see the content of this file? For this we have the cat command. Just type cat space and the name of the file, here it is file info, and press enter. Now you can see its contents. In fact, the other main use of cat is to create a file. For this, type at the prompt cat space right angle bracket space file name, say file1, and press enter. Now when we press enter, the command waits for input from the user. Whatever we type will be written into the file. So type some text. Now press enter key to indicate the end of input. Now press the Ctrl and D keys together. If a file by name say file1 already exists, then the user input will be overwritten on this file. Now, if you wish to append to the end of an existing file, file1, type at the prompt cat space double right angle bracket space file1 and press enter. There are several other commands that we could have discussed, but we would keep it to this for now. In fact, even for all the commands discussed, there are many options and possibilities untouched here. This brings us to the end of this spoken tutorial. Spoken tutorials are a part of the Talk to a Teacher project supported by the National Mission on Education through ICT. More information on the same is available at the following link. This is Shambulingaya ND signing off. Thanks for
Hello and welcome to spoken tutorial on simple filters with Linux. Here we will be learning about head, tail, sort, cut and paste. All these are command line text manipulation tools. If you see a hash symbol on the terminal, you need to become root to execute those commands, sudo su or su root. If you see a dollar symbol on the terminal, you can be an ordinary user to execute those commands. I assume that you did a default installation and did not modify any path where the files are getting saved. I am using Ubuntu 10.10 for this tutorial. Prerequisites for this module are the ability to use mouse, keyboard, maximize and minimize buttons on a window. We use the head command followed by an ASCII file name to display the first 10 lines of a file by default. Let us create a file. I am hitting on the escape key to show this practically. Go to Application, Accessories, Text Editor. I already have these numbers in another file. For the sake of time constraint, let me copy and paste. Hit on File, Save, name the file as numbers.txt, hit on Save. Close this file. Now go to Application, Accessories, Terminal. Let us try to see if we can see the file we created. Type ls and hit on enter. What we did here is to list all folders and files on our home directory. Now we can use the cat command to read the contents of the file we created. Cat num, hit on tab to autofill the file name, hit on enter. Let us do the same with the head command. Head numbers.txt, enter. Now the first 10 lines are displayed. If we want to see the first 5 lines, use the option -n5 in between the head command and the file. Hit on up arrow, -n5, enter. Now the first 5 lines alone are displayed. Let us switch back to the presentation. F5. The tail command works exactly opposite to the head command. It displays the last 10 lines of a file by default. I am hitting on Alt and Tab to switch to the terminal. Tail numbers.txt. If we want to see just the last 5 lines, use the option -n5 in between the tail command and the file name. -n5, enter. Switch to slides. A log file contains events which took place in a system. Auth.log file maintains logs for who logged in and who logged out. The most useful option of a tail command is to use -f option to follow the tail of a log file. If a new line is appended to the log file, the tail command will take that as the last line and display 10 lines by default above it. Go to the terminal, tail -f/var log auth.log. Let me resize this terminal. Let us open another terminal, application, accessories, terminal. Let me resize this terminal so that I can show you in a single screen how tail follows the last line in a log file. Try to su as yourself, hit on enter, given some wrong password and hit on enter. You will see that the terminal on which tail is running is appended with a new log. The date and time specifies when the authentication failure took place. Type date, hit on enter to verify the system date and time. Type exit to close this terminal. Hit Ctrl C to close the running tail command and maximize the screen. We have seen only auth.log file in the previous example. These are the commonly used log files in Linux. A Linux system administrator will look into these log files for more information to troubleshoot his machine if there is a problem. Sort command, as the name suggests, will sort a file for us in both ascending and descending order. Sort numbers.txt. This would sort our numbers.txt file in ascending order. Notice something is strange in there. Sort just looks at the first character to sort, so 10, 11 and 12 appears before the number 2. To avoid this, add the option of -n. -n, enter. Now sort looks at the entire number to sort them. To sort numbers.txt in reverse order, add an option of -r. We have numbers that repeat in this file. To pull out just the unique numbers, add another option of -u. Go to terminal, up arrow, u, enter. Previously 2 2s were displayed, now only 1 2 is displayed. Now we will see how we can sort a file based on certain column. Let us create a file and key in as shown below. Go to applications, accessories, text editor. I already have the data in another file. For the sake of time constraint, let me copy and paste the value. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, file, save it as marks.txt, hit on save. Don't mind the special characters on this file. I don't want someone to sue me for giving them low marks. Close this file. Let us sort based on the second column of marks.txt file. Go to the terminal, sort space marks.txt space -t space open inverted comma space close inverted comma space. Here -t stands for the delimiter and the space in between the quotes represents it. -K2 for the second column on which sort should be performed. Hit on enter. Cat marks.txt. This is the original file. If you see, Avir is moved above and Bala came below when we sorted based on the second column alone. Cut command is used to cut just certain information from a file. Let us pull out names from marks.txt. Let us go to the terminal, Alt Tab, cut space marks.txt space -d space open inverted comma space close inverted comma space. Here in cut command, D is the delimiter and the space in between the quotes represents the delimiter. -F2 for the second column. Hit on enter. Paste command will merge corresponding subsequent lines of the files. Let us use both numbers.txt and marks.txt file now. Go to the terminal, paste numbers.txt, marks.txt, enter. Now the first line of marks.txt was appended to the first line of numbers.txt. We can use the redirect key to redirect this output to some other file called concatfile.txt. Go to the terminal, hit on up arrow, hit on the redirect key which is the greater than symbol, concatfile.txt, hit on enter, cat concatfile.txt. Let's go to the slide. If we want paste to print out the number serially, delimited with a tab, we can use the -s option. Paste -s numbers.txt. Go to the slide. Spoken Tutorial project is a part of Talk to a Teacher project supported by National Mission on Education through ICT, MHRD, Government of India. For more information, you can refer to the following link. This is Bala. Thanks a lot for watching this video and don't forget to leave a comment. Bye-bye.
Welcome to this spoken tutorial on Linux file system. I am using Ubuntu 10.04. We assume that you know how to get started with the Linux operating system and have some basic idea about commands. If you are interested, it is available through another spoken tutorial on the following website http://spoken-tutorial.org. Also note that Linux is case sensitive. All the commands used in this tutorial are in lowercase unless otherwise mentioned. In Linux, almost everything is a file. So what is a file? In real life, we know that a file is where we store documents and papers. Similarly, in Linux, a file is a container for storing information. Next, what is a directory? A directory can be understood as a collection of files and other subdirectories. A directory helps us in organizing our files in a systematic manner. This is like what we call folders in Windows. It allows different users to have their own directories with their files which others cannot access or modify. Also, if there are no directories, all the files on the system need to have unique names, which would be very difficult to maintain. Though these definitions of files and directories are good to get a general feel about them, they are not entirely accurate. As well as it contains, a file has a name and some properties or administrative information, that is, the file's creation or modification date and its permission. The properties are stored in the file's inode, a special block of data in the file system that also contains the length of the file and where on the disk it is stored. The system uses the number of the files inode. The directory structure just names the file for our benefit, as it's easier for us to remember names than larger numbers. Contrary to its oversimplified definition, a directory does not actually store other files. It is itself a file that holds the inode numbers and names of other files. In fact, in Linux there are three kinds of files: regular files or ordinary files. It contains only data as a stream of characters. Directories, as we just saw in the previous slides. Device files, all hardware devices and peripherals are represented as files in Linux. A CD, a hard disk or even an USB stick. Everything is a file in Linux. But why is this so? This helps to read and write these devices in a way similar to that for ordinary files. All files in Linux are related. In short, all form a family, much like we do. A directory containing, say, some files and subdirectories will have a parent-child relationship with each other. This gives rise to the Linux file system tree. At the top is the root, denoted by a front slash. It contains all the other files and directories. This also helps in easy navigation from one file or directory to other, if we know the correct path. As we work with the Linux file system, it seems that we are moving along this tree. One command and there you are, teleported from one place to other. Sounds interesting? Indeed it is, as we will see. When we log in into the Linux file system, we are by default in a home directory. Now switch to the terminal. Ctrl-Alt-T helps to start a terminal in Ubuntu. This command may not work in all Unix systems. However, a general procedure to open a terminal is already explained in another spoken tutorial. To see the home directory, type at the command prompt echo space $HOME in capital and press enter. This gives the path name of our home directory. We can move around from one directory to other, but anytime we can be in one directory, and this directory is known as current directory or working directory. Now go back to slides. The pwd command helps us to see the current directory. pwd stands for present working directory. Type at the command prompt pwd and press enter. Now this is our present working directory. We have said that we can move from one directory to other, but how do we do so? We have the cd command for this purpose. You have to type the command cd followed by the path name of the directory you want to move to. Let's again see our current directory by typing pwd at the command prompt and press enter. So now we are placed in this directory. Now say we want to move to /usr directory. So type cd space /usr. Remember, Here slash in Linux means front slash and press enter. Now let's see our current directory. Type pwd and press enter. Yes, we have moved to /usr directory. The problem here is the path names can be very long. This is because these are absolute path names that enlist the entire path starting from the root directory. Instead, we may use relative path names that begin from the current directory. Here, we need to know two special characters. Dot that represents the current directory and dot dot that represents the parent directory of the current directory. Now, let us have a brief session on cd command. The command cd without any arguments is used to move back to the home directory. Type at the command prompt cd and press enter. Now check our current directory by the pwd command. So now we are back in our home directory /home/nukhata. Now let us move to music directory. Type at the command prompt cd space music m in capital / and press enter. Now check our current directory by the pwd command pwd and press enter. See, we have moved to /home/nukhata/music. Let us go to the parent directory of music. For that, you have to use cd command with dot dot. Type at the command prompt cd space dot dot and press enter. Now check our present directory by typing pwd. We are again in /home/nukhata. Now let's try to move to a subdirectory of the current directory using dot. Type at the command prompt cd space dot / documents d in capital / press enter. Check our current directory by typing pwd. We are at /home/nukhata/documents. Let me clear the screen by pressing Ctrl L so you can see clearly. To go back to our home directory by cd command, type cd and press enter. Again check our current directory by pwd command. We are back to /home/nukhata. We can combine any number of dot dot separated by slash in a relative path. In this slide, we can see the file system hierarchy. Root or slash is at the top. Home and bin are two subdirectories under root. Username. Here the directory named nukhata is a subdirectory under home. So, now we are in /home/nukhata. Now, how can we go to bin directory? Type at the command prompt cd space dot dot / bin and press enter. Check our current directory by the command pwd. We are at /bin. The first dot dot take us from /home/nukhata to /home. The next take us from /home to root. Now from root or slash we have moved to /bin directory. Go back to our home directory by the command cd. To create a directory, we use the mkdir command. You have to type the command and the name of the directory to be created, and the directory would be created under the current directory. To create a directory name testdir, type the command mkdir space testdir and press enter. This creates the testdir directory successfully. Note that there is no explicit notification of the successful directory creation or removal. If you do not get any error message, it denotes successful execution. We can also use the relative or absolute path name to create a directory anywhere in the tree, provided we have the permission to do so, and the directory by the name does not already exist. This process can be used for making multiple directories or even a hierarchy of directories. Type mkdir space test1 space test2 and press enter. This will make two directories named test1 and test2 under the present directory. Type mkdir space test3 space test3 slash test3. This will make a directory test3 and another directory test3, which is a subdirectory under test3. So we have created four directories, namely testdir, test1, test2, test3 in the current directory, out of which first three are empty and the last one contains a subdirectory, namely test3. Similar to the mkdir command is the rmdir command, which is used for removing a directory or directories. The command rmdir space test1 removes the test1 directory successfully. A directory can be removed only if you are its owner, your current directory is hierarchically above the directory to be removed, and the directory is empty. Now type at the command prompt cd space test3 slash test3. So we are now in test3 directory, which is a subdirectory under test3. Let's try to remove the testdir directory by typing the command rmdir space testdir. Press enter. We see it can't be done because current directory is not hierarchically above the directory to be removed. So we have to go to the directory which is hierarchically above testdir directory. Type cd space ... and press enter. Now go back to our parent directory by typing the command cd space ... Now again try the previous command. Type rmdir space testdir. Press enter. The testdir directory is successfully deleted. Note that testdir directory was also empty. Multiple directories or a hierarchy of directories can be removed at once. So try to delete the test3 directory along with its subdirectory test3. Type at the command prompt rmdir space test3 space test3 slash test3. Press enter. See, it is giving the error message that test3 directory cannot be removed because test3 is not empty. But one thing which you may miss is that test3 slash test3 has been deleted as it was empty. To check that, type at the command prompt cd space test3 and press enter. Now type ls and press enter. See, the directory contains nothing. So test3 was deleted. So in this Linux tutorial, we have learned about Linux files and directories and how to work with Linux directories. See them, move between them, make them, remove them. This brings me to the end of this tutorial. Spoken tutorials are part of the Talk to a Teacher project, supported by the National Mission on Education through ICT. More information on this is available at the following link. This is Anusha Kadambala signing off. Thank you for joining.